Good morning. I want to thank everybody who joins us. My name is Ola Atamanova, and it's my pleasure to welcome you at Ukraine Media Center. So today we're starting our day with a conversation about demining. We will be discussing the harvest of the year 2024. We will discuss the demining in the year 25, the plans for this year. And joining us in the studio is Ihor Bezkaravainyi, Deputy Minister of Economy of Ukraine. Good morning, Mr. Ihor. Good morning. So, Mr. Ihor, let's start with the volume of demining within the year 2024. What was the total area that we were able to demine? And obviously, then we'll proceed to the plans and what we were able to have done in the year 2025. So when we talk about humanitarian demining, we frequently think about demining as a process of clearing the territory. However, humanitarian demining also, just like any type of demining, it includes a lot of processes. That's why we generalize all of the figures. Some of the territories are being demined, some of them are only just surveyed, and some of the territories are being released using other methods. That's why we discuss different figures. For example, last year we've crossed the indicator of 35,000 square kilometers. So that's the area where the agricultural activities can be implemented without any threats. So those were the territories that were demined under humanitarian demining processes. There was a humanitarian response, which means the same demining, but it's done by the units of the State Emergency Service of Ukraine, who have such a specialization, and basically release of the territories that were suspected to be demining, but after the survey, the threats were not identified there. So the total amount is 35,000 square kilometers. The work was done in the distance of 20 kilometers away from the front line, and all of the territory that was available after the occupation was released. Then we got 20 kilometers away from the front line. I apologize for this word. It's a gray zone where we still can't work due to direct threats posed by the Russian Federation. So we've got back 35,000 square kilometers. So, okay, what was already done in the year 2025? What are the achievements within this year? So we have to understand that the year 25 has only just started in the context of humanitarian demining, because the winter is a specific season. Even despite it being warm, we didn't have any extreme temperatures, extreme snowfall. Still, the winter slows down any operations. What's important that has happened during this time, within these first 3 months, is that the results of the compensation program for the farmers for humanitarian demining, the program that was launched by the Center for Humanitarian Demining and in coordination with the operators, the program was launched by the Ministry of Economy. So in winter we were inspecting the land plots that were surveyed during the winter. So we crossed the first 1,000 hectares of agrarian lands that were demined, cleared, and released through the compensation program, meaning that in the winter there was no demining, or almost no demining. However, the quality control procedures were going on, and we've confirmed the released thousands of hectares on which our agrarians will be able to sow and harvest further on. So we'd like to discuss in more detail the program for compensation for agrarians. We understand that frequently as we talk about humanitarian demining in one way or another, it's about, mostly when we talk about large territories, it's about the territories of our farmers. They are important for us, for the exports of our country, and obviously for our economy in general. So talking in detail about this program, what was the area we were able to release under this program of compensation for the farmers? Well, when it comes to some quantity indicators, can you mention them? And do you see any demand on part of the agrarians for such type of work? And how is this work moving in the year 2025?
Well, this question is quite complex. Let's start with how the program is working. The agrarians are not getting cash for demining their territories. The agrarians that know that their territory potentially have mines on their territory, and if they're working illegally, they're putting in submit a requirement, and the state body is responsible for compensating them through the bank, some sort of compensation after the demining has been performed. The companies that are performing the demining are private companies in Ukraine, and they are working on the competition basis. So the money are located in the bank, on the bank account, and nobody has access to them before the actual work is done. So only after the demining has been performed and the territory is safe to use, only after that the account is released, and an agrarian is receiving the money. So this is the algorithm, basic algorithm of this process. In the last year, when we started this program, we went through with different associations, farmer companies. We went through the process, and they knew, and they know what to do. So there has been submitted thousands of requests for demining. However, there's been a lot of mistakes in the or misunderstandings during the submission. So right now we are doing steps towards clarification of the process of submission of those requests for demining. On the other hand, we have launched a wide informational campaign as to how the process should be working, and also we are working on the territories that has been already identified as dangerous and need demining. It's about a few thousand hectares of territory that needs humanitarian demining. If we are talking about the volumes of the specifics of the demining territories that we are working on, those are of course fields. These are questions of infrastructure, water supply. The other challenges that we are facing is the like, for example, in the Kherson Oblast, the Equatoria, the water body is basically a front line, so that it's the access to the water is really difficult. Also, let's not forget that first of all, we need to boost the economy, because without that there will be no programs, including the humanitarian demining. On the other hand, we cannot ignore, like, for example, forests. Like forests, we will do the forests as a last thing. No, we cannot say like this, because we need to implement this program widely and inclusively, like both fields and forests. For example, when a forest fire is happening, we don't have basically the access to the forest that is on fire, because the anti-fire teams will be facing the danger of the mines. Also, currently, we don't really have all the means necessary to face these problems. However, if compared to the last year, now we have 84 certified operators that are working in the field of humanitarian demining. When we started the humanitarian demining in 2023, we only had around 10 companies. Right now it's 84, and it's kind of an army, you know. So 84, are those Ukrainian companies? The best, the coolest, the operators of the humanitarian demining of international scale are right now here in Ukraine, and however, Ukrainian companies has joined this list. So around 14, 15 of them are international. The rest 70 are Ukrainian. And they have different structures, they have different organizations. However, those are bodies that are responsible, that are taking care of demining. Do you see any kind of problems on the market of operators if there is any kind of, are there incentives for the operators to be attracted to this market? Or which are the challenges that are in the way of development of this of the humanitarian demining and attracting the new companies, new operators? I would say that this market is developing quite fast, and the tempo is quite high. Let's say non-Ukrainian government, non-Ukrainian companies were not ready for the development of this phenomenon, and we on our side are trying to put as much effort as possible into the development of this market. Like we have intensified our programs starting last year. I cannot say for sure if it's fast enough or if it's not fast enough, because there basically isn't many instances that we can compare to. However, after we have launched around 10 dozen first competitions for the humanitarian demining, because there is a lot of legal things that need to be changed also to prepare the market for the upscaling and development. Also, we need to lower the enter conditions for those companies to enter the market. After a few first iterations of what we did with the Center of the Demining, we provided possibilities for small operators to have possibility to enter this market. Like speaking equivocally, it's like removing the lid from the pot, you know, from the market pot, which we need to understand that if we put out 1,000 hectares as a lot for the competition, there will not be many companies that are capable of such a scale of demining, you know. So because they need to have certain capabilities and financial capabilities. After that, we decided that the territories has to be much smaller than 1,000 hectares. And those should be small squares that will facilitate the entering of the mining companies, the mining operators to this into this market. Also, there is the obstacles like we are trying to remove obstacles like these from the way of those smaller companies doing their business, providing their services of demining, of humanitarian demining. Also, we are closely working with international organizations of international demining organizations that are working all around the world, that are working right now with tens of dozens of Ukrainian companies. And so the trust, we are this way we're building the trust between the international organizations and Ukrainian companies and Ukrainian humanitarian. So this is basically a diplomatic level of cooperation already. On all these levels, there is experts from our center that are working closely with for example, organizations like UNOPS or Pro-UN. These are the directions of our cooperation, and we are putting a lot of effort into them. One of the main questions is to avoid any kinds of dishonesty in the cooperation between our companies and international organizations. Another question is privatization of lands. We already talked about it before. Is an algorithm in place for this? This is quite a complex. Well, not really complex, but there is no quick answer to this question. Privatization is a new tool that appears right now in Ukraine. What is privatization? We are basically trying to eat an elephant piece by piece, you know. Despite the fact that we have 84 operators for demining, it's not really that easy to we have 4 different aspects when we are working on the humanitarian demining. First, we need to find the operators, concrete operators that will be doing the job. We need. For example, we need to understand that, for example, in Kharkiv. The second aspect is a safety aspect. For example, when operators are going to work on those territories, they have to have an access to these territories. The third aspect is time. The time that is required for a company, for an operator to clear out a certain territory. And there is a lot of factors that are influencing their operation, like how close they are to the front line, for example. You know, so these are the questions that we have to. These are the factors that we have to take into account. Also. Social aspect, economical aspect, and the military aspect. And great calculation power has to be involved beforehand into the development and preparation of the operation of those companies that will be. Also, I need to mention that AI, we are implementing AI where we can, but we need to understand that we cannot implement AI on the field. AI cannot demine the territories. However, I need to mention also that we have all the necessary tools to launch this winter. Today I will be shown a first draft of the modus operandi of our center and the way of cooperation between our center of humanitarian demining and the companies that we will be operating in the territories. And this winter we will see some kind of transformations. So to sum it up, we are going to deploy a unified system all over the Ukraine that will be perfected all the time, and the first steps and the first results we're hoping to get them in the nearest weeks. To understand who will be making final decisions about the territories between territories that we have, for example, here or over there, you know. No, AI will not be making decisions. AI algorithms' job will be to offer different variants, different versions of the operations regarding the clearance of those territories that need demining. Because final decisions will be made by people. We just need AI to process big data, you know. Financing. What happens to the financing of the humanitarian demining? Unfortunately, we see the diminishing of the sponsor help and the financement of in general. Well, in general, the finances did not lower this much. However, this is a small diminishment of external help. We need to understand that it's diversified and it supports in different ways. It supports in different ways our efforts, and nothing has broken. Nothing has stopped. So we're working normally. International support. In regards to international support, we are observing a normal situation when there is a peak of influx, and after that it's kind of small diminishment and normalizing. And normalization of the support, and it all depends really on the phases of the war. You know, like first very intensive period, and next normalizing, and after that it's just finishing up. And we're hoping that our work, our cooperation with partners is providing us with accumulation of experience, and in the future we are hoping to develop all those other programs that are meant to procure material for pertaining to the demining, to the humanitarian demining. And what we are also putting accent onto, what we're emphasizing our efforts on, is also procurement of specific machinery for the demining, and protective equipment for the people, for the operators that are involved directly in the humanitarian demining. All all of this exists on the market in Ukraine, and all of this will be bought in Ukraine. And moving forward, it's a third component. We will be trying to attract. We're trying to attract new forms of financement. For this, we're working very closely with the World Bank, European Bank on Reconstruction and Development, and so on. We're working closely with those organizations to attract more investments into the humanitarian demining. Previously, before the big war in Ukraine, the humanitarian demining centers were never perceived as a body that can be invested in. However, right now what we're trying to do is to shift the focus of the financial attraction of financial means, like, for example, programs that for example, we're trying to reformat the programs that were directed to agriculture, that was meant to be done on those territories that are now mined. So what is your prognosis for the 2025? For example, how much land do you plan to demine in this year? Well, I would start with the fact that it is really important to enhance the work of the Demining Humanitarian Center, improve its cooperation with other governmental bodies, to attract more and more resources into the operation of this center. We still have a lot of troubles on our way to develop also the enhancement of control over the work of the Demining Humanitarian Center. Also, we are planning to realize to the maximum the program of compensation for the owners of the land that are to be demined. Also, we have a program. We have different programs that are directed towards advertisement of the operation of those centers, of those operators, and our people need to know what the humanitarian demining is. They need to get attracted to it, and what is also important.
We need to engage resources in the beginning of the work itself. We had a huge forest fires in Kharkiv region last year. That's why this year we want to focus on forests as well. Even if we build this bridge to engage more resources for forest demining, that's going to be a huge success already. We're not setting any financial equivalent. We just need to set up the system itself. Also, we're going to focus on digitalization, the privatization system. By the end of this year, the launch of the register to make sure that every single square meter is documented and we understand what's in there in the soil. That's the focus, as well as a lot of technical work on digitalization of processes. Let's not focus on it. So reinforcement of the system, maximum utilization of program for farmers, digitalization, work with the forests, and innovative funding. We want to advance in raising either loans or obtaining bank guarantees or risk insurance or any other tools that we may be able to use in demining. Mr. Ihor, I want to thank you for this wonderful conversation. Thank you for joining us, and definitely I want to thank our security and defense forces, thanks to whom we can hold events like this. And at 12 o'clock, we will be discussing the agricultural sector, so please stay tuned, keep track of our announcements, and glory to Ukraine. Thanks, everybody. Glory to the heroes.